What's up, everyone? It's Iceman Oz, aka Jay. Alongside I got my buddy Lucas again, and we're going to discuss: would you buy Battlefield Hardline 2 or the sequel of Battlefield Hardline? For me, no. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. And no, I'm just kidding. Okay, no. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Actually, I would, okay, so to start off with, I would buy a sequel to Battlefield Hardline, mainly because I just actually enjoy the game. I feel like when it comes down to it, I think I just have a fun time with it. I think the infantry base is really cool. I think Visceral, if they had another shot, they'd do something decent. They did try some more variants when it comes to the single player. Whether they were successful or not, that comes down to perception. Perception is reality for people at the end of the day. So I think I would buy a Battlefield Hardline 2. Now leave your thoughts in the comments section below. But Lucas, what do you think, if from a commercial standpoint, how would it do? I think that it would do pretty damn poorly, and it's probably the reason that we won't see it, for the same reason that we didn't see a sequel to Medal of Honor Warfighter.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I believe Medal of Honor Warfighter wasn't really that much of a supported game, or we won't see another one of them, is because it wasn't a commercial success. At the end of the day, it died its death. There wasn't enough copies sold for EA's liking. Hardline, on the other hand, was. I think they got the beta just right to have people wanting to buy it. And the problem with it was that the release didn't work out. They changed too much due to certain individuals whinging and being heard, and them listening to them, I think. Mm-hmm. So I think from a commercial standpoint,
that's pretty much.
Yeah, I think from a commercial standpoint, EA want to do another game with Visceral. Whether it would be Hardline or a different iteration of it, that remains to be seen. So from a commercial standpoint, yeah, Visceral are going to get another chance. Whether it'll be Hardline, whether it'll be Hardline in its current form, or they'd work on perhaps a different IP or a different game, or support Respawn Entertainment with Titanfall 2. I don't know. That is pure speculation, but a second Hardline, they'd have to change it considerably. Maybe, this is speculation, instead of it being LA, do drug war, Mexican cartels, jungle warfare, Colombian cartels. That would allow you to bring in the military elements while keeping it still essentially law enforcement. I don't know.
Interesting. There's an idea. Huh, I've never thought about that. That's actually, I'd be down to see that. I mean, the majority of the maps would be jungle maps, so I mean, that'd be pretty fucking cool. I mean, yeah.
And you've got things like going into freaking Mexico City on the back of armored vehicles and shit like that, you know. And they could try and do it like a warfighter element, where you're different members, different parts of law enforcement. So you'd be GN19 in freaking Germany, or special branch, or the flying squad, or in the UK, you know, the global war on drugs. You know, they could do it that way and have or they could a task force, an international task force led by whoever.
Right. I mean, if you think about it, in the single player, you know, there could be like a pickpocketing system. I mean, it plays right into it. You know, where you know, well, where you've got guns, you know, and you're on your way to the battle.
Actually,
you don't only have to. Go ahead.
Sorry, carry on.
No, go ahead.
This plays quite interestingly into the Wild Run, doesn't it? The game that Ubisoft, Tom Clancy's Wild Run, or whatever it's called.
Wildlands.
Wildlands. That's it. That's a war on drugs type of scenario, and that looks really, really good. So. Yeah, I think they could keep the cops and robbers idea, but move it into a more, you know, international perspective. So as a Hardline.
You have like the bunny mask in there, you know, have the flying couch in the middle of Mexico City. Muy buen.
Hey, gringo, what do you think of my lazy boy, huh?
I'm a big boy now.
I'm a big boy. Look at this. It has 4 settings: upright, slightly backwards, and lying down, baby.
Hey, look what I got! Look what I got, senor. I pickpocketed a flying couch. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Okay, I think we're getting pretty racist here.
There's a fridge in the arm.
Okay, let's not do that. But But yeah, I actually dig that idea. But, you know, there are so many ways you could go with a Hardline sequel. I think the developers, Visceral, when it came to the multiplayer, did a pretty freaking good job. I just think it wasn't received well by the Battlefield community, mainly due to the fact that it's just too similar to Battlefield 4, and people already obviously owned Battlefield 4, so, you know, a lot of people weren't willing to make the switch. Also, updates to Battlefield Hardline really took away from its experience, so I think if they had another shot at it, I think they'd do pretty well. I think they should focus on giving away more free DLC from the offset to keep people interested. Just add incentives right away so that the player base doesn't drop off as heavy next time. Now, you got to think about it like this. If Visceral do get another shot, which EA have said that they will, if you think about it, they were Danger Close before, now DICE LA. So they messed up Warfighter, they messed up a Battlefield IP. If they mess up a third one, they're done. Like, if you think about, like, from a... I just don't see them recovering from that.
Well, to be cynical, and probably this has probably been classed as EA bashing, it is last chance corral for them, basically. If they fuck up another IP, they didn't fuck up another IP. If another IP doesn't get the commercial acclaim or the support from the community that EA wants to sell the DLCs and to sell units, then yeah, they're going to follow the way many acquisitions of EA have gone, and they're going to be sold off. We're not going to hear anything from the IPs, and any talent worth keeping will stay, but the rest will be out on their ass. That's just the way it's going to be, unfortunately.
And when you think about it, I mean, you know, that really comes down to the quality of the game. If Battlefield Hardline 2 or whatever it's going to be called, I don't think they can go with the name Hardline because it's got that negative stigma upon it.
Yeah.
It'll be called something else, you know, Battlefield Taco Bell or something. I don't know, but...
Battlefield Richie Goes to Target.
Okay. No one's going to get the Rich reference, but
okay.
But
Richie
Richie will. Richie, if you're out there, man, you'll get it. Someone link this to Rich. No one knows who he is, so no one can link him.
I think part of the failure of Hardline was also down to the fact that Battlefield 4 was still getting support. That's been unique in the franchise. A new game comes out, support dies off. What we had was the CTE, we had the night operations, we had the community map. What was the other one? Night operations, community map, and they brought out another free DLC, another map, didn't they?
Yeah.
And all that support and all that update and continuation of the CTE advancements didn't help. Because people were saying, well, what's the point? Battlefield 4 is getting improved all the time. It's a game I'm used to. It's a game I'm leveled up on. It's something I know how to play. Fuck it.
Right. It's the same problem I think Battlefront has and Titanfall had. Like, there's just too many games. Like, there's too many games, not enough time, not enough people willing to play these games. And,
yeah.
And I mean,
yeah, I think
they're just average. You know, I think a lot of these games are just average. I just don't think they're especially amazing. I think they're just putting all their eggs into too many different baskets, and they're not really trying to put a focus on what they want to do. EA, from a publishing standpoint, I know they're different studios, but I mean the development time they're getting is so short, considering like years ago when it came down to development back in the early 2000s and 90s, these developers would have a lot more time, you know, and this is why you're seeing much poorer releases and really the fall of a lot of these first-person shooters.
And true testing was true testing. They'd actually send complete games out to people they employ in their own homes. I know this because my cousin did it for a while and made quite good money on it, to play through the game and find the bugs and try and break it, and then they'd improve it and then release it to full retail. Now these so-called open betas aren't betas, they're just publicly playable demos in all opinion, in all honesty, and you never really see any changes from the beta, which is like 2 to 3 weeks before it comes out because it's a marketing play, to the game coming out. And when they do change it, experience shows us they tend to change it for the worst.
Right, because they're making quick switch decisions, and
exactly.
Really, and let's be honest, it's not really beta. It's a test. You know, it's not even a test. It's a demo. It really
playable
is, because
demo,
you can't make that many changes in 2 weeks. Like, what are you actually going to do from a development standpoint to when people notice like huge problems? You can't really do it. I mean, you just have to stick with it, which is why Battlefield 4 at its core, you know, just had terrible map design because they didn't do enough testing to see how it would work in an actual environment. It's clear that they didn't because, as you see, the way people play the game now, they actually didn't put enough investment into it, and you know, that's just the way it goes. So hopefully, swing it back around to wrap this in a neat little package. Battlefield Hardline, the sequel, I'm up for it. I'm okay with it, but they have to execute it well. They did do a good launch. Visceral did do a very good launch, which is more than what DICE could say. So, you know, that's good. I'd be down for it as long as, you know, I want them to stick to the infantry base. But yeah. I think they have something going on here, and I think, honestly, I preferred Hardline to Battlefield 4, so if that's any indication, I know I'm in the minority there, but yeah, but leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys, what you think about a Hardline sequel. Very interesting stuff. I think people laugh at the idea of a Hardline sequel because of how much of a commercial flop Hardline was, but I think it should be something that's considered, and I would be absolutely up for it. But with that being said,
just one final point. I think that it needs to be treated as its own IP now. It can't have that Battlefield iteration. I know it sounds weird that we're talking about Battlefield Hardline as sequel, but I think it really needs to be treated as its own IP. Otherwise, it's just going to have that stigma again.
So you think it shouldn't be called Battlefield?
No, get rid of the don't point it towards Battlefield. I think that was, like you pointed out, was one of the reasons it looked too much like, well, it essentially was Battlefield 4 Cops and Robbers from some people, and it does need to be treated as its own IP. Otherwise, it's gonna be a community flop again, I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, that really comes down to the fact that a lot of people thought it should have just been a DLC for Battlefield 4 rather than an actual game. So, I mean, you know, when
15 extra quid for a full game for a reskin of Battlefield would have been probably a better idea.
And it would have done amazingly. It would have it probably would have gone into that Vietnam category of epicness. If it was done that way, but you know, that's the way the fish flops. I just came up with that saying off the top of my head, so I don't even know. But with that being said,
that's the way the cookie crumbles.
That's the way the cookie crumbles, man. So with that being said, leave your thoughts again in the comment section below. But hopefully enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like, share, subscribe, and peace.